Health experts are keeping a close watch on the Stealth Omicron variant, which is a subvariant of Omicron, also known as BA.2. What do we know about it so far? Joining us now is infectious diseases expert and vaccine expert panel member, Dr. Rontgene Solante. Good morning, Dr. Solante. Thank you for taking our call. Doctor, what can you tell us about this Omicron subvariant? What are its characteristics?
Yes, good morning. The difference between this stealth and the BA.1 is the number of mutations in the spike protein. The BA.1 has like 60 mutations. This one has more or less 85 mutations. And with this number of mutations, it is expected that it can behave just like your Omicron, highly transmissible. But the current data yet on how effective vaccines are against this variant, we don't know yet, no? But we will wait for additional data if this will affect the vaccine effectiveness. Because as we know, the Omicron variant original strain really affected the performance of the antibody produced by these vaccines, and we need to know. But again, the bottom point now is that as soon as that we have the third dose of the booster, you have a better protection even with this highly mutated Omicron variant.
Doctor, can you tell us a little bit about the difference of this subvariant from the Omicron variant? You know, you mentioned mutations in the spike protein. Does that make it even more transmissible than the original? And are there any differences in terms of the symptoms a patient would experience?
The occurrence of these mutations are more or less in the spike protein. So it can be as transmissible or a little bit highly transmissible than the original variant. When you do the test, that's why it's called the Stealth Omicron, because in a standard RT-PCR test, there are three components of that, and one of the components is absent when you do the test for this Stealth Omicron, and that's the S gene. But our current RT-PCR can detect all of this, and there's no worry about if they cannot be detected. The symptoms so far are more or less mirrors that of the original Omicron variant, and it's too early also to say if those admitted with the Stealth Omicron can also develop a more severe type of COVID. But we know that there are vulnerable population that even if they may be less severe, can still progress to a severe infection, like those who are 60 years old and above, or those with comorbidities.
Right. You mentioned also a bit about the vaccines earlier. What do we know about the efficacy of vaccines against Stealth Omicron? And if we don't have that information yet, when will we know?
That's what we are monitoring, because we're waiting for data. If there are data that will indicate that this sublineage of your Omicron variant can have the same impact with that Omicron, because baseline studies in the past, when you have two primary vaccine series and 3 to 4 months after, the efficacy drops less than 20%. So it is less than 20%. That's why when you give the booster, it will be able to maintain that increase to 20% to as high as 72 and even to 90%. I hope that this sublineage can have the same impact when we will be given the booster.
All right. So, Doctor, do you think we should be overly concerned about the Stealth Omicron subvariant? And do you think it's something that would warrant tightening restrictions?
It's important that we still need to follow the health protocol, because the way we deal with the Omicron BA.1 will still be the same as that with the BA.2. Aside from that, we need to ramp up vaccination. We need to build that wall of immunity by vaccinating as much as everyone that are eligible for vaccination. And I'm so happy that the 5 to 11 years old vaccination will start soon.
All right, a lot of parents looking forward to that. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Infectious diseases expert and vaccine expert panel member, Dr. Rontgene Solante.